All right, guys, sorry about that. I had somebody come into the room, so sorry about that. So we're gonna pick up here where I left off. So basically what we did today is we went from grams to moles, and that's what we did. Now what I also then tried to kind of start doing is also being like, okay, well once we go from grams to moles, remember that what we did in section 2 was go from moles to particles. So we can then go from moles to particles. Now those particles may be called atoms, they may be called ions, they may be called molecules. We tend to see molecules and maybe atoms, but that could be anything, right? Because I can go from moles to anything, just like I could do a dozen of anything. I can do moles of anything. So when I do this guide, what this is going to tell me is that if I am in grams, I have to use my periodic table. That is where I'm going to get my numbers from. Now, when I do grams to moles, my moles are always 1. It's always 1 mole of this weighs this much, right? Then once I get that step, if I need to do a second step, it's always moles to particles. It's always 1 mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms or molecules, whatever. Now, here's the kicker, and we'll go start off simple, just doing, maybe 2 steps. The kicker is what if I have, like, I want a piece of something. What if I give you grams of H2O, but I want particles of just hydrogen? Okay, that's where I have to ask myself right here, do I need to do a mole over mole? I'm going to put a question mark, because we don't always have to. It's just if I want a piece of something. Okay, and then if I am doing a mole to mole, I am looking at that formula. Okay, I'm using the formula to get my numbers. I'm always like, oh, 1 mole of H2O has 2 hydrogens, right? So we'll see some of that throughout this section 4 and some of the work that we do. Okay, so let's look at this learning check. And it says if the odor of C6H10S can be detected from 2 times 10 to the negative 13 grams in 1 liter of the air. So that's how many grams of this C6H10S is in the air. They want to know if that's how much is in the air, how many molecules of C6H10S, okay? So right away, I always look, and right away I'm like, do I want a piece? I do not want a piece of this. I'm going straight from C6, or allyl sulfide, straight to allyl sulfide. I don't want like just carbon or just hydrogen, okay? So I don't need to worry about that mole to mole. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting in grams. I'm right here. Okay, so I'm going to write that down, 2 times 10 to the negative 13 grams of CHS. I'm going to do my parentheses. Now I know that grams of CHS go on bottom so they can cancel out through division, but watch this. I'm going to go from grams. My next step is going to moles. So that's why I'm really hoping this guide, you can look at it, and it'll help you guide you to know what to do. And then eventually we'll do it so much, I'm hoping that you don't even really need that guide anymore. So moles of CHS. Now look, I even have up here where you get these numbers. I'm going to get my grams from the periodic table. Now we looked and we did this above. We learned that that's 114. And I said, hey, it's always 1 mole. I have kids sometimes that want to put a 2 there, a 3 there. And I'm like, no, well then you have to figure out how many 2 moles weighs or 3 moles. Okay, so don't do that. So now I am looking for molecules. So I need to get all the way down here. So now my second step, I'm in moles. This has canceled out. I'm going to put moles on bottom so it can cancel out through division. And I'm going to go to my particles, which in this case is molecules. Okay, now look, I showed you here, it's always 1 mole and it's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 times 10 to the negative 13 divided by 114, multiply by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And what you get is 1.1 times 10 to the 9 molecules of C6H10S. Okay? So I'm going to really hit on this guide that I wrote up there. Like I said, I'm going to have them write that down on their periodic table. A lot of the worksheets, I'm going to be like, hey, write this at the top of your worksheet. Just so you guys keep seeing this and you can use it. Hopefully it'll help you out a little bit. Okay, if you have any questions at all, let me know. I know we're really getting into some tricky things here, especially for remote students, not being in class and being able to just get help from me whenever. So let me know if there's anything at all you need. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.